Welcome to the first video in this series of Kane Michael and Eric Tipton inviting fellow Beast members Cheryl Corntassel, Justin Edge, Larry Porch, and Mark Newble to their neck of the woods for a 3.5-day campout. In this video, you will get to study the minds of Eric and Kane as they explain their thought processes. It's not only valuable to hear their approach, but also why they do what they do. This video series is presented for those that look in the mirror and honestly ask themselves, how can I take my research to the next level? We hope that even if you are new to this hobby or a seasoned vet, you will be able to use some of these golden nuggets that will give you success in your own area.
That are up and coming in this and really wanting to get out, this is how you get out. You bushwhack in, you get in as far as you can, you start looking at the signs, looking at the activity in the area, start doing your diligence, your research of the area, to a point to where you can time, date, and stamp everything, get their travel pattern down to when the ultimate goal is to be able to get ahead of them, like we did.
Explain that strategy of getting ahead of them.
Not a whole lot of people are capable of doing that.
When you come into an area and you finally get to the point where you know that they are traveling through, you want to be able to get in front of them, and that's where the time, date, stamp comes from. It takes a lot to get there in your research. It took us over a year and a half to get to understand their travel pattern, getting on their trackways, understanding how they move. We know that here they move in a counterclockwise. It takes them about a month, a little over a month to get back to. Once they leave this area, they won't be back here for a little over a month. It takes them that long. So we estimate that their travel pattern is anywhere from 5 to a 10-mile radius. I know that's a broad range, but in this area, it's probably on the higher end of 10-mile radius. So when you're able to establish, okay, we know they're here this weekend. This is August 4th. The weekend of August 4th. We knew that they were going to be coming back through here. So now we're ahead of them. Now we know in a month they're going to be coming back through. You want to set yourself up a day, 2 days prior to them coming through. That's the research you want to get to. That's where you want to get. You want to be able to set up, be in the area, wait for them. You've got their trackway. You know the trackway they're going to be on. You set up your surveillance off that trackway, 60, 70 yards back off that trackway, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. And it takes a very, very long time to do that. It takes a lot of diligence, takes a lot of patience, and but it pays off. It definitely pays off.
Another way to put it would be this expedition alone was a year and a half in the making.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just to plan this one event took about a year and a half. So nothing about this is random or circumstantial. potential were in the corridor of the woods that they, out of these thousands of acres, you've got this narrow little swath that they're using. You got to find that. And not only find it, you got to predict
when they're
going to be through there, and instead of, because you can follow them the rest of your life. You know, you can always be a day behind and $1 short, or you can go out and be there, and they come to you naturally through their travel pattern. And that's what we try to do, and it's you know we've been through this whole area, and it's not only just finding a structure, finding a print, it's finding, because some structures are years and years old. You got to find the fresh signs where it's current, and remember that week or whatever you found the fresh signs. And when we've been conversing back and forth through messaging, we've been saying, hey, you know, we think we've got a really, really good area pegged down for everybody this weekend. And that's because we were in air, we were seeing fresh sign, we were seeing the little swatch of land we call the corridor, you know, and corridors can be parallel to each other, last year's, the year previous, you know, and work up to a fresh corridor. And a lot of this is just, we didn't take a stab in the dark and say, let's just go out in the woods and see what happens. We put ourselves in the best position that we could with the evidence that we had. And that's all you can really do, is just be in the right place, try to be there at the right time, and actually use the evidence that you gathered to put you in that place.
Yeah. And because I really pride myself on learning and understanding how to get on a trackway of a squatch. And I really do. I really pride myself and Kane on learning that. So it's taken a very long time to get that back. It will, if you guys lose it, be very patient with it. Be extremely patient with it, man, because they change everything. They change everything they do, and it will take you so long to get it back. Be very patient, man. That's the main thing. Don't push. You know, be patient. Don't push, man. Don't go in there just bull rushing and thinking, you know, everything's going to happen at one time. It takes a very, very long time to do this. And like you said, a year and a half, you know, just for this here where we're at today.
Being a fly on the wall is all we were. We weren't doing anything out here. We were just looking.
Yeah.
Not disturbing anything, just go, being a fly on the wall for a year and a half and narrowing it down. And through that, we started having some encounters of our own out here that we didn't talk about. But we're narrowing it down like, okay, this is the spot. And we've had a great weekend. We got tons of audio. Everybody here has a story, you know, and that's why. That's because, you know, it was really planned out. And that's probably the best weekend I've ever experienced as a whole. With the stuff that we've heard, it's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It ain't over yet.
Yeah. No.
Now,
We still got another day. So
us infiltrating this way, what do y'all think is going to happen in the future on this trackway y'all found? Y'all think
No, we haven't disrupted it.
okay?
There's a difference of what we're doing and what the BFR did when they came in here.
Yeah, this is what these group of guys understand and respect it. The BFRO, when they come in or came into our area, they tainted the area, they destroyed the structures, they moved them around, they added their own. It just destroyed it, just completely destroyed it. And that's the exact opposite of what we're doing, because we know the creature, we understand the creature, we respect it, you know. So trust me, we would not be right here if Kane and I didn't trust any of you.
thing too is the way I look at it, you know, they have basically this human troop has moved in on their territory for a couple days. That's why all day yesterday we were getting warnings, we were getting the tree breaks,
That's how I feel about it.
letting us know we don't like you here. They came in last night, they checked perimeters, you know, all around us. So I think at the end of the day, when we pack up, we leave no trace, they're gonna think, oh, we chased them off. And we're not out here tainting the area every single weekend.
Right.
It's another thing we've learned. So they're going to think, okay, you know, that human clan, we chased them off, we won.
You gotta think like a booger.
Yeah. And then if we do this sometime again next year, you know.
It'll be like that road group's back again.
Yeah.
We gotta get them out of here
And,
again.
but there's no guarantee that next year this will be the spot.
Right. It'll depend on
You've
what
gotta
time of
stay
the
on-
year,
yeah.
what time of the
It
month
might be somewhere else that we'll have to go
Yeah.
to do the same
to
thing.
get in front of them.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you can do it. That's the important part. If you're out there enough and you got to be in the woods to do it.
Yeah.
You got to be in the woods to see it for yourself, to be able to track them. You can't do it from your computer. You know, you can't learn anything from the computer. You've got to be right here and experience that.
And that's another reason why it takes so long. You have to understand too is when I say don't push too hard,
Yeah.
you go in on a weekend, you don't come back to that weekend for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you go back, you look for fresh signs. You get those fresh signs, you leave again, you don't come back for 2 or 3 weeks. You give it time. Give them time.
Doesn't mean
Yeah.
you're not out in the woods.
Doesn't mean you're not out in the
We'll
woods.
just, let's say that, okay, here's a good spot. So next weekend, we'll go somewhere else.
Yeah,
Check out that spot.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
just give it some time.
yeah. Because ultimately what you're doing is you're connecting the dots.
Yeah.
You're not in this area. We're over here for a weekend. We're connecting dots over there and then over here. And then we kind of do the same pattern that they do.
That's how you know that this is pretty close to a 10-mile route that they are taking. Now, somebody else in their research area, it may only be a 3-day route. But you've got to get in and find it. And there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle that you have to put together. A lot of people use different ways of measuring those pieces, whether if it's audio recorders, setting out audio recorders, and then coming back in a week and picking them up and saying, you know, looks like we had movement coming through here. We got vocalizations, you know, every 7 days coming through here. There's a lot of ways that you can use to come into an area. And something else that I appreciate about Eric and Kane is there are no hiking trails nowhere around here. We don't have to worry about hikers coming through here. We're in their area, and because they're not going to be using hiking trails.
This is
So
pristine.
we don't need to be using hiking trails.
There's no sign of humans in here.
I think
Everybody appreciated the hike in yesterday.
Oh, that was,
We're in pretty deep. That's what we always say, that we go in deep, and it was hard for us.
We
'Cause
thought the
usually don't
boogers
carry
were
that
gonna
much
show up.
gear with us.
Hammock camping is the way to go in a terrain like this, and
And a long hike.
In a long hike.
Weight is everything. You got your hammock, you got your gear, you got your food, and the biggest thing is you got your water.
your water.
So that's a lot of weight to pack in.
Yeah.
And the extra 50 pounds on you and train like this, you could feel it. It's hard to lift your legs.
It was
Yeah.
75 yards stop. 75 yards stop and rest.
Yeah.
So it took us what? It took us 2.5 hours just to get in in the shorter distance or more. Because I mean, we just had to stop and suck wind. That was brutal.
Yeah, some of it was just straight up.
It was the equivalent of some of those Appalachian mountain hikes I've done. You know, with a backpack on. Where they're just
What they have here, just to let you guys know what they have here, obviously they have meat, you know, they have deer, they have coyote, they have turkey, bobcat, they have fish, they have natural spring, back here where we're at. They've got yellow root, red root, berries. They have everything to house them.
Lots of blueberries. I've seen a lot of blueberries. You know,
So,
scattered out through here.
yeah,
And the rogue bear.
and we do have a rogue black bear that travels through here. Haven't seen any signs of him this weekend, but once
Support
again,
a bear.
yeah,
Mushrooms galore, like Kane was
Mushrooms.
saying earlier. I've seen some of the most beautiful blooms of chanterelles out here I've ever seen. I mean, and they're back
tough.
down here by this spring. I saw just a massive ring of them, and these are served in fine restaurants, so they're eating pretty darn good out here.
And I tell you, it's nice too that Cheryl and Justin are plant experts, and their knowledge when it comes to plants for edible, for medicine,
yeah.
and to be able to share that with
a
us,
hobby.
because that helps connect the dots.
I was going to say two things. One, this encampment was planned out. There's a reason we wanted a barrier. So, with the hope they could only come in on 3 sides and that we'd have at least one saved, I always try to think about having at least something, especially if it's just me and Eric. We want at least a backdrop where we feel safe. Now, yeah, we could be pushed right off the cliff, but it's a little harder to come up this way. So it was just kind of planned. Everything was going to happen like this. And then we'd have this, and this is a great area to use your FLIRs. You can see this whole hillside. So there was a plan behind that. And then the last thing I want to say on my part is I wanted to add in on food in these areas. You know, modern humans feel, they say, well, I don't know if there's enough food out there to support such a big creature. But what you forget is, where did we come from? This land has supported thousands and thousands of indigenous people throughout history. That's where we've come from. We come from the land. We learned how to, everything is here to feed thousands of people, because it's happened in history. Just because modern humans have forgot, would die in 6 weeks if the freaking power goes out, doesn't mean you can't do it, or this can't support a large creature. This could support 1,000 strong Indian tribe.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Using
easily,
just the
But-
easily.
But
So-
your average sidewalk spitter don't know that. And they just assume and throw their opinions out there to try to shoot you down.
Exactly.
This land can support, in Ohio, how many deer do we have?
Too many.
1 million?
Too many.
Half a million? So you take one Sasquatch that, let's say, it weighs 800 pounds. What's that, 5 deer?
Yeah.
This land can feed 5 deer. It can feed one 800-pound Sasquatch.
Yeah.
That logic does not make any sense. It's ridiculous. It's idiocy to think that the land out here, if you have that train of thought, then you don't know the land.
Right.
You need to get back out the
In
woods.
addition to that, and he's just talking about stuff people can eat.
Yeah.
Boogers can eat stuff we can't eat.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff we can't eat.
Millipedes.
And they're just talking about stuff people could eat.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
support 1,000 people.
Yeah,
And
their
we got a more
digestion-
restricted diet than boogers
Yeah,
got.
their digestion tract is, we can't touch the stuff.
Yeah.
They can eat, yeah. They can eat all kinds of stuff we can't eat.
We can say that with authority because we've found the scat. And if you see a Sasquatch scat, it's processed way different than ours.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like you said,
Right.
it has no smell.
Right.
Maybe if it's ripe, fresh, I've smelled it, but within a day
A
or
meat
two.
diet. If they've been eating a lot of meat,
Yeah.
then you're gonna get some
But
stink.
you go through.
But all natural?
And another thing I've realized, and I've seen it where I used to live, is most animals, their scat is you can tell a month later, their digestive process is so good that it looks like fertilizer.
Yeah.
And if you start looking around, you see these black areas out in the woods.
Yeah.
it's a very good chance
Yeah.
because that's what it turns. I've watched.
I found one
From-
back here on
yeah.
the way in.
I found one on the way in when we were
Yeah.
coming in. Yeah.
I've watched it from being fresh to being a week old, and after a week, it looks like fertilizer.
Yeah.
It's that process. So Justin's right. They have a healthier diet than we do. Probably can eat more than we do. I mean, squirrels have a better, they can eat things that we can't. They eat acorns and stuff that we have to boil, and they have different digestive systems. So, there's tons I could sit here and name stuff that grows all winter long that we can eat right here. Yeah.
Getting back to this expedition was been in the planning for a year and a half. For people that want to go back and look at the research that has been done here, they can look up House of Enoch and see that the research that y'all have done. Can you tell them where they can find that at?
Facebook is the best place. Just House of Enoch, Enoch. You find everything that we've put on there, from the dumb stuff when we first started learning to it's always been an open.
Yeah.
Just here it is. This is what we found. We try not to claim anything. We always just throw it out there that this is just what we find in the woods, and leave our opinion out of it as much as possible, and just let people look at it for themselves. But there's, a lot of research pages. I can't remember the last time I checked, but I know there's probably close to 100 videos by now. Lots of just food for thought, random thoughts, walking through. Sometimes we get a lot of people that say, hey, you haven't posted anything. I'd love to see you post. That's the nature of research.
Yeah.
We don't post things.
You aren't there to entertain.
Yeah. Right. Doesn't mean we're not out in the woods. Just means we're not going to post anything unless it's viable. So there might be we go out here. I mean, we don't have an encounter every week. We don't. Sometimes it's weeks. Yeah. We went through that curse of a year and a half of retracking them where we didn't get a lot. Yeah. We had to go through and just kind of poke and prod, and a lot of weekends going back, finding old sign, and it's easy to get disheartened, but you just keep doing it until you get back on track, and then you have a weekend like this.
For me, it's a red flag. If you're looking at an individual or a group, and every 3 days or once a week, they're throwing evidence up with red circles, and they have formed these opinions. This is what's happening, and everything that happens in the woods it was a Bigfoot that done it. Mm-hmm. And their Bigfoot box is just huge, and anything that happens, they throw it in the Bigfoot box. Yeah. But I like surrounding myself around people that don't do that. Yeah. And that try to come in and dissect the evidence. Mm-hmm. So when something does happen, they're not crying wolf.
Right. We try to, we do. The first thing we do when we come up on something is to disprove it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To disprove it's a spot.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you have to do.
That's the first thing. I like that mindset.
We're our own worst critics.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. I've got 100 videos that I want to post there. It's like, nope. That's what keeps us balanced.
Yeah.
You've got to bounce off each other. It's great to have a partner that's like-minded that can say, well, it could be this, or throw different ideas at you. So there's so much that doesn't get posted. Just for the simple fact that if I can't sell him, he can't sell me.
Right.
We're not going to sell anyone else.
But it doesn't mean that we're still not working on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just you're going farther with it.
Sometimes it's you put it in this bag for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, duly noted. Let's see if we find it somewhere else.
Yeah.
We do that a lot.
And for the up and comings too. Also, when you have a theory or you see something and you start building a theory on it, don't just build it in that area. Take it to other places as well. Travel to other areas outside of where you're at. I mean, go around, and that's really how you build a strong case theory. You know, you have to go to multiple places with it, and that's why, like he said, you know, you put it in this bag, you know, and that's where you keep it, and you pull it out when you go to different areas that you've never been to before. And
This has been a Sawdust production.